Hello, I am Isaiah Jones, and for my final design, I have created the Autobiography Art Museum, where architecture transforms memory into space and individual story into public art. This project invites each student to design an architectural space that reflects their own identity, values, and creative vision. For my concept statement, it is a place where personal history becomes spatial experience. This museum does not just simply display your life, but it also creates your growth, revealing how memory, culture, struggle, and imagination converge to form the person you are becoming today. For my space complex and floor plan, I am number 35 out of 36 complexes. With my space being an autobiography art museum, I am located at the bottom right corner of the floor plan or the space complex. I have 3 figures that cover 62 squares, equaling to around 3,968 square feet. My courtyard covers 62 squares, and my color that I use for my design is warm and earth tones as well. For my living spaces on my floor plan, I have arranged from 1 to 10 spaces that number each space and the sections of the art exhibit areas. And then this is just a close-up of my 3D versus my 2D model. For the 3 structures of my design, I have my primary structure, the Autobiography Art Museum, and then I also have the secondary structure, the Personal Art Museum, and then for my tertiary structure, I have the personal house where I will be living in. Here you can see my figure 1 exterior and interior, figure 2s, and then figures 3 exterior and interior as well. Here you can see my overall site plan view from a bird's eye angle, with its site plan revealing a modern architectural composition, and then the water acting as a boundary and medium defining the project's edges while reflecting its geometry. Then at the bottom corner, you can also see the pieces put together to create my design as well, and how the datum and linear is what creates the whole art museum itself. For the ordering and organization principles, I use datum and linear. The datum is the architectural spine for my design, and the linear organization is the movement along that spine. And together, they define the museum's structural and experimental order. These play a major role as the result is a museum that feels ordered yet dynamic, where spatial hierarchy and circulation are perfectly integrated. For my figure ground study, you can see 3 models of each stage of my building, as the first figure shows the 3D model, and then the second figure shows the color study of it, as each color represents a section of the house and its meaning to the building. And then for the third figure, it shows the 3D model brought into life as we use chipboard to create the model. For all of our spaces and complexes that we created, they are all located in Galveston, Texas, with the postal code being 77554. The transition from the 2D model to the 3D model rendering represents the evolution from conceptual form to lived experience. As you can see at the top of the page, this shows where Texas and the overall site plan is located, and then down in the middle, it shows my 2D model versus my 3D model and the overall new things that were brought out into the 3D model, such as the sky, the colors, the earth tones brought into the picture to create a lively feel to the 3D model. With my pathways and connections, as I am located in next to 34 and 36, they connect to my space as sector 34. Both of ours are connected by concrete, and 34's being a robotic space, and 36 being connected to me through connected shared pathways as well. For my master complex and direction of travel, again, since I'm located at the bottom, number 35, I am positioned near the edge, functioning as a threshold zone, connecting the inner monumental order to outer distributed models. Its placement emphasizes movement, transition, and spatial hierarchy within the overall master plan. As you can see for my elevation and sections, the spatial and built form strategies together narrate a journey from grounded introspection and elevated expression. As you can see, the light shines, brings out the windows in the shaded areas, and the water depressions act as water, light, and geometry as they converge to create a living museum to self, where every courtyard, depression, and platform becomes part of the reflective architectural story. Thank you for watching my presentation. Again, I am Isaiah Jones.